His pressure, obviously, Jimmy Buckets, obviously, he just loves it in the playoffs. So we know what we're going to get from him. I think there's a bit of pressure on Tyler Hero to really to kind of step up a bit more in this series and do a bit more scoring off the bench and show us all why he was sixth man of the year and why we should believe in him again becoming a perennial star in this league. Because obviously he had his great rookie year which included that performance against the Celtics in 2020. Really struggled last season, and then coming off the bench this year, he's looked good again, but he wasn't at his best in that 76er series, as we probably agree the Heat weren't themselves. They're kind of just doing what they had to do. So I think there's definitely pressure on Hero to step up and be a bit of a difference maker off the bench for Miami.
Yeah, he's just been straight up bad in the playoffs so far for him. Yeah. I think he'd agree. He's a negative 23 in the playoffs this year, and he's shooting 27% from three. And that's going to be a major weapon for a team that, you know, the Heat were crushing teams with their 3-point shooting this year, and they're definitely going to need it. No, I'm actually looking forward to is matchup of Williams and Adebayo. Both Williams, but specifically Robert Williams, because Adebayo was clear, you know, right up there, defensive player of the year kind of guy. The fact that he literally spent an equal percentage, just about an equal percentage, give or take a couple points, on every position in the NBA, thanks to NBA tracking data. But to see both these guys who are very different defenders, but elite at what they do, Robert Williams being probably the best help side defender, off-ball defender in the league, rim protector, best rim protector in the league without Miles Turner, Adebayo being arguably the best switching defender in the entire league. Both these guys are going to be huge in what they do on that side of the floor. I guess depending on the play style, like which player do you think has the chance to make the biggest impact in the outcome of each game? I'll put that to Ronan.
I gotta say Bam, because he's more likely to be able to do it on both ends of the floor, which is probably a big kind of difference maker. Obviously, Rob Williams is your traditional kind of rim runner. He's a great rim protector. He's great on lobs and setting screens, but Adebayo has that few extra weapons on the offensive end, which is why he can be that bit more of a difference maker in this series. But when Horford comes back, hopefully it'll be after this game, that could have a huge impact as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have to say that Rob Williams, he can be the guy that can make or break the series. And after learning the news about Al Horford, it puts all the more weight on Robert Williams to go out and outperform the opposing center, who, as you mentioned, was right there in the conversation with Defensive Player of the Year, and he's an excellent offensive player as well. So I really got to look towards Robert Williams to hold his offense and keep up with the defense that Bam will play and almost cancel it out in a sense.
Yeah, I think at least in the lob department, you can kind of seek to make Robert Williams a key part of that pick and roll, because Adebayo, he's bouncy, but in terms of defending the rim like that, the way Robert Williams can get up, but that also depends. Hopefully he's healthy. But dude, we got to rewind real quick. Like, why are we continuously saying this whole episode when Horford comes back? Like, why are we assuming he's going to be back after one game? Like, and here's the thing. Now in the NBA, with the policy of there's no asymptomatic testing, like, you are in health and safety protocols because you are sick and you probably have COVID. And like, there's no guarantee here. And first and foremost, like, speedy recovery to Horford, like, talking basketball here, hopefully he's all right. But that I picture this not with Horford in mind right now, because I think, he could be out the first 3 games. Like,
that's
you don't
initially
know.
What I think too. I think that I don't think, unless it's a false positive, which I don't believe it is,
doesn't really exist.
Okay, so it doesn't exist.
Well, like it obviously, like, there's probably a case out there, but like with the testing that we have, like, if you are positive, like, that is basically like you are and they're all rapids. I think they're not doing. I'm not sure if they're doing PCRs, but these are very accurate tests when it comes to positive results. So like if he's positive, he's definitely positive.
Yeah, so they're playing every other night for the next 2 weeks. I could see Horford out through at least 3 games. So if he's going to make a return, it could be game 4. It could be game 5, which is a huge blow for the Celtics just a couple hours ahead of game 1. It hurts my heart a little bit.
It's tough. How do you stop Butler? That's a big question. You didn't have to do that against the Bucks. There's nobody against Drew Holiday from time to time. There's nobody on that team that was going to create from the mid-range, that was going to aggressively attack the mid-post. And the way that Butler moves the ball too, like that's going to be a very different look that the Celtics haven't dealt with. What do you think Udoka does, Tim, to counter that early on?
Well, I fully expect Jason Tatum to take on the role and defend Butler throughout the series, and it would just be amazing to see. He takes on Kevin Durant head-to-head, takes on Giannis, although he wasn't the primary defender a lot of the times, but his defense was still there. And Jimmy Butler, he is the biggest X factor in the series. He's playoff Butler for a reason. He brings his game up a notch, and so, with a team like the Heat that they have shooters, you can't really throw a double team at Butler if he's heating up. So I really got to look towards Tatum to continue to show that he's taken a step in the right direction from a defensive perspective and own that matchup and win that matchup.
See, win it on the offensive end, though. Who is going to be Jimmy? Obviously, matching up with him on the defensive end, and got to think the Heat are going to do all they can to overwhelm Tatum and put the pressure more so probably on Brown and other guys to do the scoring. Is that going to be a big element too? The defense that Jimmy Butler brings as well.
Absolutely is going to be a huge factor. And to what Christian was saying earlier in this podcast, Tatum's got to make that extra pass. He's got to find the open man. He's got to trust in his teammates. And so far, he's proven that, at least for the first half of 2022, that he's ready and he's available to make that pass. He's not going to revert back to the ISO tough ball. He's going to find that open man. So it's going to be difficult, but I think Tatum's going to ultimately get his. He's going to get 20 to 25, maybe 30 a night. And hopefully his assists are upwards 5, 6, 7, 8 assists per game, because he's going to find that open man, and they got to convert. They got to execute.
Thanks for watching Coast to Coast on YouTube. For full episodes, check out the show wherever you get your podcasts. And for all the best hot takes, subscribe to the Coast to Coast YouTube channel below.